Hi, fellow sapient sapphires. Please take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Interesting. So earlier I was outside on my porch and I was seeing this breaking open of of a chrysalis and a butterfly emerging. And that that kind of reminds me of this card a little bit, what I'm getting from it right now, the different perceptions that a person can take on an issue. We have these hands that are cradling this vision. We have two sets of hands. And it's something that has taken a lot of work, it feels like, because I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but there's a little guy or girl in that little enclave in the center of the mountain, which reminds me of the mountain card in here, or is it the forest? I think it's the forest. I'm not sure. But the guy or girl, they're taking a break. They're kind of hermiting out for a little bit and gathering or regathering their momentum for the rest of the ascent up the mountain. But it seems as though they've left something behind. Something that they desperately need to finish climbing that mountain. It's really coming off as that wands type of energy, that kind of fiery ardor for life, willpower, your drive, your ambitions, your hopes and dreams and desires, the things that really light you up inside. And these two things, it seems like, need to be merged together. But the only way that they can do that is through wisdom and through continued learning. I get that, or I'm seeing that a lot from the two owls. I love that there are two because it's bringing me back to that coming together of the self. This is going to be a very, well, 2026 is set to be a very transformative year. I'm actually recording this with the new moon. So we're talking about like new beginnings and stuff like that. And this could very well be a new beginning for someone, this wisdom that's coming in. And then you have this snakeskin type of stuff right here. I'm not really sure what to call it, the encasing of the vision. But that snakeskin is really kind of bringing me back to the idea that even though snakes are representative of wisdom, they're also representative of change. The whole shedding of the old to really feel the new in the fullest capacity. I'm trying to use the snake metaphor. But yeah, you're shedding old skin, and it's through learning that you're doing that. And in this vision, once you do kind of work more on merging the self and merging all those dualities is really what I'm getting, the contradictions within the self, you come into this space where it's like all the colors of the rainbow are lighting up. You're able to access not just your lower chakras, but all of them. And that's really what we want, is to reach that state of, even if it's not enlightenment, but maybe I'll just go ahead and say enlightenment. Self-actualization, really understanding the self and understanding the people around you. Our next card is, let me see if I'm going to say this right, Aletheia. But this card is really talking about truth. Two very dualistic sides of each other that are separate but also together at the same time. But we have this kind of prison bar print around it. This type of wisdom isn't something that everybody is going to be able to experience in their lifetime. It's very much something that you will have to work at. It is a climb, very much so. Once you emerge from that chrysalis, that vision that you had, it seems like you'll be able to accomplish it with a lot more ease than normal. Sorry, my mouth isn't mouthing again today. Let's see. Oh, very cool. So we have the Hierophant coming out first. And this guy is really just talking to me about the blessing fingers, and that you're kind of, this is a journey that you want to take. This is a journey that maybe it feels like you have to go on the journey. I mean, you don't, but it's something that you really want, and you're being blessed along your way. So definitely, don't hesitate. Learn as much as you can. The ravens at the bottom. Once again, you have two of them kind of looking at each other, which reminds me a lot of the owls in this card, and how that, can't hold on to my cards. The roses, the fact that they are two, and it seems like someone is really merging into that one. It's just about getting in touch with the self more, finding those very contradictory parts of self, and working to see all the different perspectives in it. Okay, so a little bit of an aside, because I feel like I need to take this card. We have the Pilgrim. So this might be something that requires, whether it's journeying physically or mentally. Maybe someone is getting into astral projection. That's super cool. Perhaps it's actually like just going out and being in nature and really experiencing it. We have this same kind of mountain, so that same ascent that's going on here. We also still have the hands clasping, but we have this eye, which brings me back to the idea that we're opening up those kind of centers that really show us what's going on. Sorry if you hear my cat in the background. She is just chilling by the door. We have the Knight of Cups. So this is something that's going to really fill you up inside. It's really going to make you happy. Someone might be working with some sort of a guide that has 3 different sides to them. This can also be talking about the merging of 3 sides of self. But the Knight of Cups is a pretty slow-moving energy. And so this is it's been a slow process for someone, or it is currently being very slow with someone. But don't worry, because it feels like it's coming in. It's just, it's about kind of learning and learning and learning and waiting it out until you get to the place where you need to be to fully embrace everything. And talking about 3s, we have the 3 of Swords. So this could come with a little bit of maybe I don't want to say an earth-shattering realization, but that's kind of what I'm getting, is not so much the heartbreak aspect, but it's a realization that is going to completely shake up your version of reality, what you believe just in general. So in this first set that came out together, we have the 3 of Cups, going back to the 3s that I was talking about, and we also have the Page of Cups. Yeah, there's a very big celebration, I think, that not so much outside of oneself, but inside of oneself. Like I said, I'm recording this during the new moon, so very subtle kind of transformations. And this one, however, we have the full moon, which is kind of like the more overt transformations. Perhaps it could be that the full moon might be really important to some sort of ritual, or maybe even the pilgrimage that you might be going on. Whether that's internal or external, it matters not. It's just, the pilgrim is kind of like the page in that the pilgrim goes off on an adventure. The pilgrim is trying to find something that they can't find anywhere else. And with the Page of Cups, this wisdom, whatever it is that you're trying to do, I think it's open the higher senses. This seems like something that someone has had to maybe not go on such like a long journey for, but it's been an eye-opening one. No pun intended. Even that wasn't really a pun. But it's been one that maybe you didn't expect. But it's filling up your cups in such a way that you couldn't possibly think about doing anything else. I mean, once you open yourself up to the insane and the craziness of the universe, that wild side of the world that kind of remains hidden, kind of behind that tapestry that you see in the High Priestess card, and also in the back of the Justice card, where they're kind of like hiding what's going on behind the scenes. Once that veil is lifted, it's like I don't know. I'm getting like butterflies in my stomach. It's going to be a very cool time for you. Okay, and all of these three wanted to come out at the same time. Let me see. I'm going to be reading these together, but I'll go through I'll go through everything separately as well. There's this past kind of how do I describe it? Need. It's reminding me of the rune Nathuz, which is talking about scarcity and not really having enough. Maybe it was, maybe it was you being completely closed off to the idea of spirituality before. Maybe it was extreme need. Maybe that's what kind of opened up your interest in going deeper. With that need, though, we have the Eight of Swords. So we're talking about someone who is very much stuck. And just to show you the imagery, we have someone stuck on a pole in need right here. And then this girl just kind of looks like she has ropes, like, pulling her down. And she's not having a very good time. You can see in her eyes, she is terrified. But it's this type of energy that someone's leaving behind. Because with that comes the Ace of Swords. A new thought, a new idea. Perhaps that new idea is what actually kind of brought you on this adventure. And it wasn't quite what you thought it was going to be, but maybe it's it's the Mick Jagger song coming into my head. Maybe it's not what you initially set out to do, but whatever this is what you need to do. Or at least that's how it feels. And yeah, stepping into the King of Pentacles energy, someone who's finding that balance, finding that grounding that they need to be able to go on all of these like crazy type of adventures through the universe. You definitely want to make sure that you have your feet firmly planted in the ground before jumping off a cliff. That sounds a little weird, but it's what I'm getting right now, so we're going to go with it. I have all the mountain imagery up there, so maybe that's where it's coming from, but I don't know. And yeah, so coming into your own with this and really grounding while you go on this extra crazy adventure, you're going to end up in the Ten of Pentacles energy, which is that really cool kind of legacy card. You're building something for yourself that will last quite a while. In this card, it almost looks like the birds are scavenging. And I'm going to point this out really fast. So we have two birds on the ground, which is reminding me of that merging of self. And then these three birds up in the sky, that it's really kind of reminding me of the three different entities, or three versions of the same deity, like Hecate, the Morrigan. Sorry, I got my cards all mixed up. But something that kind of goes in threes. Does this need to be cut like this? Okay. And traditionally, this card is associated with sabotage. There's a lot of layers to it, though. It can be read in a bunch of different ways. It can also be read in a way of doing things a little bit differently. So in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, there's this guy who is, he's stealing swords from the enemy camp. And it's not really warfare in the way that a lot of people would think of it, but it is still fighting in a way. You are still sabotaging the other person's army. Maybe you're not a fighter. Maybe you, in the context of that, maybe you use your mind to figure things out a lot more than, say, anything else. You find kind of out-of-the-box solutions for everything. And for this, yeah, there's definitely a lot of out-of-the-box type of everything that would be going on. Okay, this is going to lead to fulfillment of oneself. We have Nine of Cups, and This card is really cool. This person kind of doesn't even have a face anymore. Once you go through this huge transformation, it's going to be like a whole new version of you. And this this big crow in the background is kind of like your guides, kind of giving you like that, like, yeah, good job. Good job. This was a hard thing to do, and because of your out-of-the-box thinking, you were able to master it. You were able to get through it. You were able to figure things out where no one else could. Let's see. Pick one. The Queen of Swords is our bottom card. So, it's about cutting away what we don't need. The Queen of Swords, she's very misunderstood in the tarot, but she's traditionally shown as one hand out, one hand with the sword. So she's the one who's compassionate but will not take your BS. And to go on a journey like this, you have to be able to discern which emotions are BS, which beliefs are BS. You might not, you might be cutting people out of your life, you might be cutting things out of your life, but there's definitely a change on the horizon. And there's a shadow in the background where you can see it's the Queen of Cups, or very much Queen of Cups, what am I saying? Queen of Swords. But whereas right here she has her sword down to the side, the one in the background has her sword up, as if to say, slice, slice. And that also brings me back to that dualistic kind of contradictory aspects of self that we all carry around with us. And yeah, okay, death comes marching in. Whenever the queen slices something out of her life, that's it. Dead and done for. Whatever doesn't need to be in your life, it's time to move on. It's time to get that stuff out. This guy is riding through. He's taken out, like, or just, disposing of everything that the Queen of Swords has already been like with. Fancy. Oh, I love this one. Going back to, once again, the merging of all those different dualities of self. We have the Lovers, which is the Gemini card. I love my Gemini stuff. Anyway, so, the Gemini card, the Lovers. Sometimes it's talking about external. In this reading, I'm very much feeling the internal part of it. And the fact that it's really about getting to know yourself, so much so that you kind of, well, you don't lose yourself, but you become a more full version of the self. You become almost faceless in a way. You've kind of shunned away different labels. You don't want to call yourself this or that or the other. You have become essentially no one and everyone at the same time. And bringing you into the Queen of Wands energy. So that fulfillment of the that willpower that I was seeing up here. The Queen of Wands, she's looking on, she's very determined in whatever her venture is. But even in this card, you can tell that she almost kind of doesn't have a face. I know it's the mask that's causing this, and it's kind of illusionary, but it very much reminds me of this. Once you kind of, once you lose yourself in yourself, that's when you'll find your true vigor for life, your true passion, what you're meant to be doing, or what you feel like you're supposed to be doing. Maybe shamanism or yogic practices, maybe they might light your fire, who knows. But this is definitely someone who is going on a huge journey, and it's so cool. I love it. Okay, cool. So I've never gotten this card before. Can't wait to read it. I am already getting a lot of imagery of the dualistic nature of everything, from the two different rainbows to the two different, are those ibises or flamingos? I'm not sure, but we also have the sun and the moon, the light and the dark. This is very much a message about merging oneself together. And I'm especially getting the contradictory parts of self. let's see, the androgen. Creative transcendence, multiplicity, the artist. The androgen is a deeply revered image in alchemy. Born of Hermes and Aphrodite, Hermaphroditos, sorry about that, has been classically depicted as a balanced union of the divine masculine, the sun, and the divine feminine, the moon. Yet today's alchemist knows that the androgen is far more nuanced than that. It encompasses the infinite spectrum and reveals itself in ever-changing, non-binary forms. The divine hermaphrodite defies definition, as it is a deeply personal, felt experience. Accessing this fluid and enlightened state requires us to slip into the contradictory realm of the senses. Breath by breath, we are drawn into our limbs, our fluids, our orifices, organs, and cells. We let go of rules and labels. Judgment is suspended. The gods are present, as are the creative mysteries of the underworld. For a brief moment, we hold all of our complexities in one loving form. Like a newborn, we know not our name, gender, age, or location. We are the embodied artist, embraced unconditionally by the sun and moon. To ponder, sexuality without language, intimacy without sexuality. Okay, so a little piece of advice from the book. Make a list of your contradictions. Start with, sometimes I'm blank, and sometimes I'm blank. Keep writing quickly until you feel the inclusive power of this archetype awaken. Let's see what the other side says. Through an alchemical image of completion, the androgen makes a beginner of all of us. Regardless of gender orientation and sexual preferences, allow yourself to know nothing today. Okay, I think that's the absolute perfect card to end this reading. So yeah, it's all about just kind of merging the contradictions together and kind of dropping all those labels, becoming the faceless. I don't know if anyone out there has seen Game of Thrones. I'm sure you have, but yeah, I'm throwing out that reference. It's about becoming the unrecognizable, even to yourself, the merging of all those aspects, all those contradictions. All right, I think that's all I'm getting for this message. I hope this resonates with someone. And if you wouldn't mind giving a girl a like and subscribe, if it did, or if you just found me mildly entertaining, I would greatly appreciate that. Thank you for watching. Until next time. Hopefully, anyway. Bye.